on getting live with the first map. We're already here on Cash, the pick of Renegades. They've beaten Optic twice on this map online recently, so it's to give you a little bit of head-to-head history there. So we do see Renegades looking to maybe post up on something fast on this A-bomb site to kick things off.
Yeah, smoke going straight in, Molotov towards the back. But careful, Nifty, there's a player there peeking. As Nifty bursts out, the rest of Renegades will as well, and Optic already falling out. I like this control, they give it up. Magix falls out of the site, so they can also play retake, but they have a man advantage. Make that a triple man advantage. Good shots from Optic, playing far back and not committing to the site as well. Renegades aren't going to be allowed to get the bomb down, so now all the Optic players moving back in just guarantee the fact that Nafly can't plant, and it will be HS to clean things up. So a nice pistol round in the way for Optic. They'll take the first.
Yeah, almost a team ace there from the Optic side. Only Mixwell not getting involved into that one. Freiburg with 2. As you know, Freiburg and Mage's Boy is going to be the 2 main guys defending the A-bomb site throughout this game, and they certainly stepped up to the plate in the pistol to put a shutdown to that A-bomb site execute. So Renegades, they will be forcing up here. They do get the scout onto Nifty. A couple flashes into smoke. We'll also see Deagle armor out there onto Ustillo and JKS. Nifty going to go for the boost here on the white truck inside spawn. Actually does get a tag off on the Freiburg, so a little bit of free damage, and JKS wandering around the Deagle, look to see if he can't catch Mixwell, but Mixwell too quick with the ump, and it says that JKS is out.
Yeah, 1 minute 30, and Renegade's already a man down. Damage done onto Freiburg, as you said, but it's not an issue for Optic. They'll rotate another player in to join him. That's Alu. As he goes to the peak, he grabs a kill, as a dead. So Optic only extending this man advantage by 1 more, and 1v1s, you're always going to favor this M4 over the Deagles shown by Renegade. So Optic confidently taking duels here. They don't have an issue with that. It will be the scout to finish off the job. So Freiburg just getting shut down there in middle. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Renegades are still only up on 3 players and still very split up.
Yeah, and the CTs are doing a great job of not allowing NAF to find any breathing room over here on the B side. They'll even smoke them off, deny vision. Nades come in, even doing damage, picking them down to 21 HP. And I feel like Renegades just look disjointed in this force, but they didn't really have any purpose besides going for picks, which not enough of them have really panned out. But we'll see if they can maybe get some magic going now. So you see Nifty looking for something with this Deagle. Bomb still tucked in over towards B lobby. No commitment yet, but they're running out of time, so they need to get something going here soon.
Yeah, time is really ticking, but bomb outside of B main, they're going to split into the site. Mixwell's defending from the back of Checkers. That's all they need. 2 kills, make it 3. All headshots with the UMP. Optic, very clean anti-eco there.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen something more from Renegades in that round. I really think that if you're going to go for a force by second round, you're going to put that money into it. Rather than just spreading the map and hoping that you get a Deagle pick, I think it would have served them a lot better just to do some type of execute. A lot of people like to do heavy squeaky door plays, for example, on force buy rounds on T-side. I think those usually allow you to at least get a bomb plant and get you that extra cash going into your first gun round. But, I mean, I guess if they just trusted in the Deagles, just not that round. You know, it didn't happen for them. So Optic get 2-0, and they should very easily coast into a third. As we even see HS looking to take some initiative here with Mixwell at Sunroom.
I mean, as they said on the desk, right, Mixwell, while he hasn't got, you know, the AWP or at least a secondary, he's just pushed up with the UMP, as was mentioned. We're expecting to see this, especially on the Antico, where Renegades, you know, no bomb plants came in on either of these rounds, so their economy is especially low, even more so than usual, meaning that, you know, that's why we see only 1 P250 Glocks on everyone else. It really is a weak buy for Renegades, so good luck to them as they set their sights towards the A-bomb side. As Freiburg sits close to the Deagle, confidence again for Optic. He's not even needing to buy up a weapon here. Wants to save a bit of cash, and I like this. A lot of teams don't really employ this as much. We see it get used every now and then, but into these third rounds, you know, just you don't need to buy up full guns, because at the end of the day, chances are you're going to lose a player to a pistol here, you know, if you're unlucky, and then you would usually have to rebuy it, but instead Freiburg can go pick up a gun off the body, or if he dies, he loses really nothing of value, and Optic can save more money in the long run, so they can get rifles up, they can pull that AWP into the 4th round, and Renegades, they're going to be struggling with money themselves after having 0 bomb plants, but let's see if that can change here as they look towards A, about to burst.
Optic just has too many numbers here over towards high. I mean, they might be able to get a bomb play, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, not looking good. Alu just, yeah, styling 3 kills. Freiburg finds 2 as well with the Deagle. Not the player you would expect to do damage with that gun, but it's Optic to take a clean 3-0. Again, losing very minimal players into those rounds, only 1 in the second. So now we wait for Renegades buyers. They can put in rifles. Again, the AWP going to be something that they will be lacking here on this T side, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, again, Renegades is a very diverse team on their T side. Definitely can play the default. This is, again, a situation where Naf's much more active than previous teams. He's now on the perimeter like he used to be because you have JKS kind of lurking B and you have Azza usually playing towards the door. So you're going to see Naf more active in taking mid control and trying to open up A main. And this is a team that can play very fast-paced as well. But it looks like this round they're going to just go for something a bit more standard. Again, they can play the full spectrum of CS on this Renegade side. Thanks to Kassad and Nifty, they bring a nice blend. They are looking to maybe do some type of later mid-round control, or excuse me, mid-map control, as you see Azza and company do begin spilling out.
Yeah, mid taken. There's no fight back for Optic. They just completely give it up despite having close players. And if Freiburg rotates down Highway, maybe we'll see them flash out and actually go for a bit of an aggressive play, especially with Mixwell being here in the vents. They can go for a two-pronged push from 3 players, but it's all down to the timing here. Renegades have mollies for the vents. They can force Mixwell out of this position. There's the flash. Now we see the peak. Mixwell gives away his position. Off the back of that, he falls off because he doesn't want Renegades to split him with a Molotov and have a player down in B main to take him out.
At least he knows how many numbers are at middle from that peak, though, so it does give Optic some information to work with. You can see alu trying to take a pot flash and peek and maybe fight this. He's got Freiburg with him.
I like it. Flash through, but smoke in the connector. Doesn't matter. alu fights anyway. 2 kills. Great defensive middle. It shuts down the Renegade split. Now they just have to opt towards main as they send the 3 remaining players onto the site. 1 kill from Nifty, but it needs to be traded as alu, who's climbed up top. Nafley not going to be able to do the same. And Magic defending from the back of the site as well. This is a complete shutdown for Optic. A really confident first buy round. And again, they're not really seeming to be losing players. Nifty finally changes that, though, with 2 kills. However, it won't be any further than that. 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was just something lacking there from Renegades on that play. I mean, it definitely sneaking up the white box can be a very dangerous situation to deal with as a CT Highway player. But typically that's going to be assisted with some type of pop flash to allow them to peek Highway more freely. I think there may have been one, but alu just didn't seem to be affected by it. Maybe he just kind of got in front of it or whatever the case may be. But he wasn't blind. It was easy pickings for him. He's actually 9-0 right now in 4 rounds played, so he's having himself a hell of a game to kick things off here. But again, you can't really read too much into this just yet. The 5-0 pattern is so very common when you're losing pistol. You're not getting that opening gun round. So I think we have to still kind of wait this one out. It can be very deceiving, a 5-0 scoreline, I think.
Yeah, and again, a lot of it is off the back of not getting this bomb plant, right? You can't pull in that early AWP to take down Optic players, and it's just a difficult start for Renegades. But it should start to plateau out, around the next buy. But we'll wait and see what happens here. At least Renegades have very little money once again. It's just going to be Pistol's armor, and already Nifty dead. He attempts to sneak out of main, just try and get himself in a bit of an awkward spot, try and catch out Optic on the A-bomb site. And actually, we're going to have a second player do the exact same. You still wraps round. I like it. But again, caught out by Magic's boy. He's just too aware.
Yeah, I mean, he's the A-bomb side anchor for this team. He's always been really well known to be a nice anchor on the bigger sides, particularly like A on Cobblestone was a big example for him back in the Dignitas days. But yeah, definitely all right, Freiburg. Just getting a little
dirty.
Giving him the sausage, giving him the brat. We got 3 players 0-5 right now, Renegades. This is not the time you want to be building up to your best Daniel Craig impression. You want to be getting some numbers on the board. Yeah. Curious to see what Renegades go for. They're going to have a better buy in this round. One thing they like to do that's different from every other team is they like to do heavy squeaky door plays even with guns. So you could see that at some point. But because Nifty has AWP, I imagine they're going to want to give him a chance to maybe find a pick. As I say that, though, there are a couple of players heading over towards Squeaky, JKS and Azza, so it could be one of those heavier squeaky door plays I was talking about. But Mages, he could be the thorn in their side. The trap is sprung. At least they know he's there now because he's been spamming that smoke, so they can kind of start looking to adapt to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't even try and spray through the smoke when he exits the squeaky door as well. Now he closes it, and that's a perfect opportunity for Renegades to strike, but the smoke is down. Finally fades, but they have so much utility after this loss bonus getting built up. So this is a really good setup for Renegades in terms of money. It's all about how much they can get done with the buy. Smokes will rain through, good setup. Not much Molotov usage. They hold on to a lot of them, so they're going to attack the site, but Optic Gaming is still sitting inside of the bomb site. Already Ustillo found the first kill, but it's Freiburg through the smoke to trade. Again, aggressive as Optic jump back in and try and retake it before the bomb goes down, and they do a good job. HS and alu both finding frags, but now it's just down to the lone Finn. 1 frag found, and Nafly sticking the bomb plant, but he's 10 HP. alu doesn't have a nade to get rid of this last player on the site, but he can just hold on tight. Can't let him cross towards highway or car. Instead, Nafly has to wrap the right side, and that just allows alu to have full awareness of his position, at least to some extent, as he now pushes in. Time ticking away, kit to play with, both players tagged up, and pressure on alu. If he can find this round, it almost guarantees they have the next one. Although that being said, Renegades still should have money because of this bomb plant. So Nafly, he just sits in close, doesn't know where Alu's coming from. Alu's playing it very, very slow, but now he drops, makes noise, and Nafly strikes round. Renegades will find their first on the board.
Yeah, really good clutch there in the 1v1 from Naf. He's definitely well known for that in the scene as being a very clutch player. While he has become more active on tactics, he definitely still has that, you know, that classical traditional style of just being really good in the late round. Gets one for his team. Pretty solid, just heavy utility execute on A there for Renegades. A couple of big plays from Optic to keep that one close, though. So certainly wasn't an easy round there for Renegades. And in fact, they have to actually go with a scout onto Nifty. They don't really have a way to get an AWP back into his hands. They still do have, you know, AKs across the board. They're going to go for some faster mid-control once more. Again, just kind of keeping the pace up high. And they do have a tag on friberg. They know exactly where he is. He's getting burned out. Somehow he's able to get a little bit further away. They do eventually catch him. But it's equal exchanges.
Yeah, Ali pulls it back. Nice shot through the gap in the smoke, and Renegades, they lose another man. Still diving out alone. This is risky for Nifty because he doesn't have any teammate here to trade him. Plus, the AWP is going to be a real issue. He's only got that scout, like you said. We'll upgrade it. And the Molotov, he actually just falls back off the back of it. Doesn't want to commit to the fight in middle. Because, again, they have 3 players.
All right, okay.
That'll change things. Renegades had
Someone called Dan M. He's on the gear, boys.
Renegades had 3 players, but they're all split up on either side of the map. So now they're going to group and hit the site. Especially with that pick, it draws Optic with a player off of B.
Yep.
Heavy mid-control for 2 players. Now going to leave this site open, so Renegades can just take it.
Yeah, that kill from Nifty changes so much about how people are going to be positioned. May just trying to rotate over through heaven, but Nifty's just pristine right now. Gets a 3rd kill for himself. Clean and crisp right now from Renegades. They're starting to put some points on the board now. Starting to put a little bit of pressure on the green wall, who's had an easy time at the start of this game. But what can Alu do?
Apparently not much. It's all smoke shots today here for Renegades. Good round from Nifty. We talk about these 2 NA players being kind of the star, or yeah, NA players being the stars of Renegades. And, you know, while we have the inconsistently, but still Azza and JKS able to put up numbers, it's usually Nifty and Naf being those guys at the top of the board.
Yeah, that's very true. I think of Azza, though, it's like a very good role player as an entry, like almost like a Freak is what used to be for Cloud9, like a guy who can have substantial impact on opening up, and he can have big games. He can be a really good performer at times, but yeah, certainly Naf and Nifty come to the forefront a lot of the time for this team, and it looks like, again, they want to keep the tempo high, looking to do something fast over towards A. A lot of damage, though, to Naf.
Oh, they don't spot the boost. Alu's going to be able to get the kill in the meantime, so actually finishes off the job, but it's still frags him for Renegades, and they'll just go pick up the bomb and commit to it. Optic, with horrible positioning down towards B, or unfortunate more so, as they're deep into the site. They can't rotate. They didn't have, you know, an anchor player, for example, just playing towards CT spawn, meaning you can quickly rotate. They have players deep in checkers and getting aggressive on B, so Renegades have the site. I'd be surprised if Optic even attempted this. No, their money's not great, but 3-round loss bonus combined with 2 guns saved, they could put money into it. But instead, they're going to look to force their way back on in. Mixwell with another kill. Hell, even if they lose this round, damage is going to be a positive. They can keep Renegades' cash low. This boost is up, and it's very rare being in a post plant as well. But Nafly going to fall back down. JKS wrapping the top side of the rafters. That will be all Renegades need to secure the round.
Yeah, and that one, they didn't even really put any utility behind it, right? They just kind of took open fights on the face of A main and were able to win the bulk of their battles. And again, it's kind of like a team ace coming through to do it. Everyone pitching in except for Naf in that round. So a really good opening on A, and Renegades seem to be favoring that quite a lot. Again, this is a team that's very diverse. They can play a lot of mid-control. They can play slower defaults, but they love the fast-paced executes. They love to just gather up and explode onto something. That's one of their trademarks, and they've really started to make it work here in these last few rounds, particularly on the A bomb site. And like you noted, Optic are starting to run out of funds now. They're going to have to go into this one with just 1 M4, the one that Mixwell saved, and they're going to full save on everyone else. They're not going to force around it, so being very conservative with their money, which is good to see.
Yeah, and throwing in this A stack as well, not going to allow Renegades to get the pick, but with no site spotted here from the CT side, Renegades are just going to take advantage. So mid-control's already gone their way, but look at this from Optic. They put so many players here. Flash over for both sides, and friberg fully blind. Still Mixwell jumps out the connector, and that will cause a distraction, allowing these USPs to flood out. And Optic, they're getting damage done, and they're upgrading to AKs as well. Renegades left now down to 2. And while these players are both all low, none of them have armor, they have rifles, so they're still dangerous. Renegades can get the bomb down on the A bomb site, but with a 2-on-4, Optic Optic poised to retake this one. No way you save in this situation. Surely you go for it. But again, it's all about Renegades trying to minimize the loss here. They need to get aggressive. They need to find frags to equalize this scoreline, knowing that Optic have such an advantage. That scope will make noise. HS should know that Nifty's right below him, but he wraps lower and actually flanks. JKS takes him down from above, and Nifty follows up, but only as he falls. It's now just JKS alone towards the back of the site, and he knows he needs to take a 1v1, and he does. There's a massive kill. Looks out for the last, and he spots Frybug as well, trying to wrap the site, kid in hand, so no pressure for time. And JKS, he doesn't know he's being flanked, but he finds it in time. Renegades. It gets dicey, but they find it.
Yeah, that was way too close for comfort, though. If you're Renegades, you should be walking away with that. When you're up against 4 USPs, that should never be happening where you have to lose that many guns, come down to 1v1, forcing a lot of rebuys out of yourself when you're playing from behind. It's not a situation you really want to be in. Optic putting those pistols to use, just creating a nightmare scenario in middle for Renegades and almost stealing that one away. But Renegades are back onto a full buy, including the AWP in the hands of Nifty. And Nifty's going to pivot. He's going to be taking this over towards the B area, trying to change up his positioning. A couple of players in the Heaven Raptors and Checkers could get a little bit aggressive on him. You do see the deeper smoke coming in, kind of forcing Nifty back a bit. Nifty looking, maybe thinking they're going to do something gimmicky and boost inside the B bomb. It's like not a bad idea to check this and just make sure. This can happen sometimes, so he's definitely being cautious. The rest of his team, though, just taking it quite slow. Default positions for everyone else.
But this from Aloe. Look at this. He's pushed all the way down middle. It's ballsy, and Renegades have the boost up as well. He will luckily get that flick shot through the wall. So Naflight tagged down to 9, but Aloe, I mean, a really risky move.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely not something you see very often, not from that angle. And got away with it, too. It's a crazy problem. I'm surprised Renegades did not punish that as he was trying to backpedal. I guess they just weren't really in position to do so. I didn't want to risk it.
And off the back of him getting tagged in mid, Renegade's actually again going to look to exploit this area of the map. That's an unlucky Molotov.
Yeah, that doesn't do him any favors, right?
Yeah.
They still do have a couple, though, to be able to clear out sandbags and such if they so choose, though there is no one there, but they can't know that, of course. They just want to make sure they get control more safely. They've had some struggles finding it, actually.
Yeah, this is looking definitely like the B split now, though. With 30 seconds left, they've got to make a move. They have players up towards A, but Az is backing off, and in the meantime, Frybug takes control. So he'll get a lot of information. That allows for that rotation of Alu. Alu can move back towards B, so now Renegades are going to walk into the site with 3 CT stacked just off the back of Frybug pushing. And even while he goes down, Optic still commit to the triple B setup because they know time is low, and Renegades are forced to make a play. As they burst on through, it's going to be Mixwell alone in the site to try and get damage done, but he dies. Alu looks to trade, and there's a missed AWP shot. That was crucial. It allows Renegades time to cross, and they actually will be able to get the kill as well. So important, because with 10 seconds left, that one frag from Alu could have dropped the bomb.
Yeah, that was looking really scary because Optic, like you said, they had that rotation. I was a bit concerned that when Azza got the kill on Frybug pushing A main, that it may cause Optic to have to double back off of B. And if Renegades were more patient, then they might have caught them rotating backwards. But they committed hard instead while Optic still had their people firmly established in B, yet they still were able to overwhelm them. So just through brute force alone, Renegades able to tie this game up, responding to the 5-round winning streak of Optic with 5 of their own. Again, showing you how deceiving a 5-0 can really be based on the economic situation that everyone's in. And Nifty's starting to heat up here. He's up to 12 kills. No one owing on Renegades any longer. Starting to kind of get into a little bit of a groove now, and they've quickly made this a ball game, as we would say in the States.
Yeah, I mean, you literally said at the start, right? This 5-0 start is very, very common. You know, you can't get too worried about it. Now, Renegades have just proven that it was only a curveball. It wasn't a long-term issue. It's just Optic off to a nice start, you know, holding the economy. Now that we've got Nifty on the AWP, he's performing. And yeah, Renegades bringing it back to 5-5 just shows they're able to do so and keep this game close as ever.
And they're starting to get more efficient on their mid-control. I feel like Renegades were losing a lot of numbers. They weren't making a lot of headway when they tried to attack high-low, but now they're starting to handle that situation a lot better, establishing mid-control without losing as many numbers, and that sets them up to run any type of split that they want. It lets them keep their full playbook open. I think we do see Optic going for some aggression here in A main. They're limited on their resources in this one. They're trying to make a play off the back of what guns they do have. As Majors will push into lockers. This at least lets them control this, lets them get information. They could rotate more freely towards B if they so choose, but Majors could get caught as he tries to push.
Yeah, Renegades expecting this. Usillo, that's a good kill. That's a gun dropped as well for Optic, so Renegades starting things off nicely. He even spots Alu moving into the lockers, so more information gained. And with Alu pushed, now this player in Squeaky can actually pincer the A site, but it's an unfortunate loss from Usillo. He goes down to Alu. Alu now needs to make sure he's aware of his behind, because again, this Squeaky push has come through. Alu misses a shot, and Azza will take advantage. So now Renegades back in the driving seat. There's still only one player left on the A bomb site. More kills coming in across the map. Renegades cleanly shutting down this anti-eco in 1v1s.
Yeah, catching the aggression, catching Optic scrambling as they're losing numbers or having to just try to rotate to the action and try to make something happen. And Renegades has always been posted up waiting for it. HS trying his best with the UMP, not the best gun for this range, and JKS is able to slip in behind and close the door. So it's 6-5 Renegades. They take their first lead of the game here in the middle of the half. And I'm kind of curious when does Optic kind of call a pause here and start talking about things, because things are starting to go a little bit awry now. And it may be now. I think they did actually call for a tactical. So curious to see what the discussion will be. They're obviously past max loss bonus at this point, so that money's coming in. Didn't have that much into that round, so should have a good buy coming up. They could go double op with Mixwell and Alu. I mean, I know a lot of teams like to go double op, anchor sites, you know, put rifles in middle. Maybe you want to start contesting Renegades mid control more directly with a little bit of utility, and again, just trusting your ops to hold sites. Or you could even just be looking to post Alu's op mid. I know this team generally likes to play 2-1-2 with Alu opping mid, but there's so many different CT setups you can really do here. And I'm a pet, obviously a guy behind them who does a lot of research and may have a bit of a read on what would be best against Renegade style. And here we go into the opening of this next round to kind of see what they've been talking about.
Yeah, by round, Renegades have obviously been smashing Optic. Obviously, they're 5-6, so it's a close scoreline, but that's 3 anti-ecos, a pistol, and a 1 buy. So Renegades doing very well, but things changing. Boost up into vents. Mixwell finds that mid. And Freiburg also picks one up prior to that as well, so Optic are already taking 2. Now Renegades have to slow things down. They want to reroute back towards B, but they can't go for this mid-split with only 1 player. That's the biggest issue. Even if Nifty attempts it, it's going to be so difficult because Optic are still playing heavy mid even after Mixwell finding that pick. JKS draws it back, but now Mixwell falls out the vents to try and contest, and Renegades, they're going to fool themselves.
Yeah, I'm not sure why HS is really going for that. You have a 5 versus 3. You've done really well to contest middle. The adjustment was to let Alu anchor A solo with an op and really put that focus on middle with the player vents, highway, CT, just kind of have that trifecta of rifles to defend any type of boost, and they got it. I mean, they got the 5-on-3 instantly, but HS kind of gave a little bit of something away there on the edge of the smoke. Did do a fair amount of damage to JKS, though, to be fair, so certainly Nifty and JKS are softened up for his teammates for later on, as Renegades will now be looking to get a boost up with Nifty, maybe see if he can't exercise some mid-control. Will be mollying off sandbags, just doing his due diligence to clear everything out. And they're running low on time, so eventually they are going to have to start making a commitment here. Looks like everyone is heading middle down, including the bomb carrier. May just forced off back into highway and A site, but he's fine with this.
Yeah, the rotation's in though. Freiburg's moved back towards B, so Renegades have now another man to contend with on this site. Mixwell already in the edge of the vent's going to get 1 from Checkers, and now they know where he is, but again, as you say, Dust, time is low, and Freiburg's still here contesting. Bomb dropped, JKS trades, and now it's a 1v2. The CT smoke is down, but Optic are all coming through middle, so it's going to be a site plant for JKS, and still a molly to play with, but a fast push from Magis. I like it. He gets onto the site. It's dangerous, but again, with such low time, he's committed that JKS is going to commit to the bomb plant. So, nice round from Optic.
That's one of those situations where Optic know they're up a man, so they know they can play one-and-done positions with their players, and as long as everybody gets the one they should be getting, you'll always remain ahead, and you should be winning the round. You know, obviously, Mixwell playing under vent, very tricky position to deal with unless you also have a player pushing simultaneously from lobby. Because as you're coming out vents, you're having to worry about back checkers, you're having to worry about below blue tarp, so it's a very hard angle to deal with. And obviously Freiburg in the corner of the balcony, another angle that's just not as common for you to be pre-aiming. So good work there from Optic to lock that one up. They tie this thing right back up. Obviously Renegade's able to keep a buy going. They're going to slow it down. But here's one of those heavy number squeaky door plays I was talking about on rifle rounds that this team likes to do. You see a lot of teams do this on anti-ecos. They used to do it with Tech 9s. But you're going to see Renegades go for it with AKs and just explode onto an A site that's actually quite vulnerable. It's just Alu here with the AWP.
Yeah, I was going to say the reason I like this as well is because Optic have been showing a lot of mid-control from that vents position, right? So they know, Renegades know that Optic are going to have a weak array, and that's why they exploit this. Alu not even checking the angle, doesn't hear the door open, and he almost doesn't realize he's alone on the site. Magis tries to rotate up through, but he's got to get a quick kill, because if he dies, the round should be over. That should be it, right? Optic are down 2 men, they're not on the site, and it's just going to spiral out of control. Steamrolled over the bomb site. I like the reaction from Renegades. As you say, the squeaky door split does work out, and yeah, that's 7 rounds. That's the reset as well. Yep. Only HS saving at a max.
I mean, if you have a read that a team's playing retake A, heavy squeaky door play is so great because even if there's someone truck watching A main, great. They still can't see you spill out and get into the A bomb site. And the inverse of that is, even if you do have players playing inside A, I mean, if you're hauling ass out of squeaky door, I mean, the distance to close on the quad is so short. And when you're overwhelming them with like 3 players in their face like that, and if you have some good utility coming out of A main at the same time to flush people into awkward space, it can be so chaotic to deal with that. In that situation, though, there was not much there for Renegades. It's just alu with an op who was focused on main and didn't even catch the door push, and it was just too easy for Renegades at that point. They've taken the lead, and now Optic must full save.
Yeah, Deagle on USPs. They did damage last time. They had a similar buy to this one, but I'm not holding out for at least, especially not with any utility. No flash into main. They just push. Ustillo, again, doesn't want to give away anything. As Optic just going to hunt. They chase. They run, but Ustillo tapping from a distance, unable to connect. He needs to get a kill here because he's about to be overrun. Flashes in. Teammate bails him out. He finds 2, but he's low on ammo and can't reload close. Luckily, Nifty's there to get 1 more, and Mixwell's alone. So Renegades seeming to be up to 8 rounds. So currently, their T-side job is done. Anything on top is just a bit of a bonus for them. As Optic, they're going to be left with just 1 player. And again, money's still not looking good for the last round of the half.
Yeah, really easily done there by Renegades. This time around, don't fall prey to the USPs that they did before. It got really close last time.
Yeah.
This time they do a very clean, flawless victory. Hold on to all their guns. Going to have plenty to work with in this last round, so that's no problem. In fact, Optic's the ones who's still kind of up against the ropes a bit, having to go UMP on Mixwell, FAMAS on Magus, so not the most ideal of setups for them. They don't have the op for alu as either, so this gives Renegades a little bit of an easier time, but certainly still enough here from Optic to have a shot at it. As we do see it, Renegades shifting again, going for something heavier towards the B side of the map. Crisscross smokes for middle probably coming, so it seems like they want to go for some type of fast mid-vent split, which wouldn't be bad because the only player here is HS playing back checkers. Mixwell's a pretty quick rotate away, and alu could probably, you know, make it to vents, but Renegades has a pretty good setup for how Optic are positioned.
Yeah, and again, just to touch on it once more, you know, rounds are rounds, and Optic have 6 on the board, but if you really look at it, only 2 of these 6 rounds have been buy rounds, you know, rifle to rifle. We've had a pistol, a bunch of anti-ecos, and barely any rifles. So coming into this buy, again, I'm really not confident for them. They haven't proven to be, you know, too effective on these rifle rounds. It's been all Renegades today. They've had this streak, and they're looking to make it 9 for the half. As they set up outside of B, all 5 players ready, and yeah, good luck with that one. Full Molotovs into the checkers room. Mixwell going to be forced to make a play, and he goes down as well.
You can thank Threat for that one. That's the old Nip Ring of Fire on checkers. Very good at controlling it. alu trying to see if he can't break through and make things happen. And okay, he's starting to get a little bit of something going here. What? Oh my goodness, alu! What is this? Oh. Anticlimactic, of course, because Azza still closes, but holy cow, did alu try to put his best foot forward to maybe wrangling that one back in, but great play there from Renegades. What? As you noted, I mean, they only gave up 1 round once they got their economy in order after the 0-5 start, so big half.
Yeah, massive half for Renegades. So strong given the early start for Optic, and the only round they get is straight up reset, forcing them down to USPs, which they got nothing done with. So, yeah, a very dicey last round at least. Good play from alu. But
that
again,
came out of nowhere, dude. It was like an RKO. Like Randy Orton just showed up with an M4 and was just popping off from somewhere he shouldn't have been. Hopefully people will get that reference. But anyway,
alu's been playing very well.
Oh, yeah.
18-9 so far this game. Top of the server despite being down by 3 rounds. You know, 8 kills above his teammate. Just a very good half so far. I mean, we saw him 9-0 only 4 rounds in. So clearly keeping a tight stranglehold on Renegades. But it's not enough. You can't have just 1 player, as proven by Amanek in the game yesterday versus Liquid, where Misfits fell in overtime after this exact map, a 13-2 lead. So got to be careful.
Yeah, certainly he was really up to the plate. Had a couple other players who were performing. I think Freiburg and H-Boy started to warm up a little bit towards the end, but big game for Renegades. And it wasn't even Naf this time, the star player. It was other guys really stepping up. Nifty, I felt, was playing a really excellent game. And then Azza having the impact when he needed to. Ustillo stepping up to the plate. Pretty good numbers across the board here. No one really like stands out as being an anchor or a burden on their team in this game thus far. But again, it really just is the storyline of Renegades. Once they were able to kind of get their act together, kind of get past those first 5 rounds, the woes of losing pistol and opening gun, they took care of business from that point forward on their map pick of Cash. Important to note that they chose this. The next map is the pick of Optic, which was Overpass. 3rd Mirage if needed, just to remind you. So again, we're in the semifinals here. No matter what, these teams are guaranteed 87-50, but obviously you're wanting to get into that grand final, have a chance at the big cash and the title and the pride. So we get into the pistol here in the second half. looks strikingly familiar to the pistol we saw actually in the first half.
Well, the only difference is Renegades actually have some information. They got aggressive, and as a result, they've actually rotated players around. So if you look, they have almost 4 near the site. Although that's unlucky timing, Nafly falls back only to reconsider as Optic charge on in. Great shots from Ustillo. Good work with the USP. Even finds 3, just defending the site like a madman. 4, Ustillo. He's not letting up today. Nifty finishes off, but Renegades, what a round.
Oh yeah, Ustillo just stood firm over at quad, saying you shall not pass with this USP. Some great headshots, some nice little juicy one taps, as well as a juicy fist bump there with Aza to celebrate. Renegades extending that lead up now 10-6. UMPs across the board to see if they can't farm some dollar bills against the Deagles of Optic and the 1P250 of Alu. Obviously, he's going to take a little bit more of a step back, making sure he gets that op money.
I'd love to hear what you think of the full UMP bikes. I really hate it. I'm not a fan ever.
I think it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you have like an opper who wants to save for an op, that it makes sense for them not to buy one. But I mean, again, it's money. Money in the bank. I mean, if you get a couple of kills, it pays for itself, basically. So
yeah, but while obviously Optic haven't brought up armor alongside these Deagles, so it's not a threat. They're doing very well, and that's fine. If you have Deagles and armor up against a full 5-man UMP buy, wouldn't you say that's just a huge risk to take?
Honestly, I hate the FAMAS, so unless I'm getting an M4, I probably would play with the UMP, to be 100% honest with you. Obviously, the one tricky situation can be is that when you're going into your opening gun round of round 4, unless you've collected enough money off your UMPs to buy into an M4 around 4, it's one of those awkward scenarios where you may even be tempted just to keep the UMP into the opening gun round, which there's certainly situations where they can still be useful in opening gun rounds, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, either way, it's a clean round, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Renegades up to 11, and Optic throwing in the full eco. A single flashbang coming into this 18th round just to try and burst them into the A bomb site. And Renegades, again, they've got Molotovs, they've got HEs. There's nothing holding them back in terms of nades, and even the weapons are good against armorless players. Optic looking to burst. Good flashbang does work, but the Molotov on the door is going to make them nice and crispy. Ustillo, another defense from this A bomb site, it seems. And he'll eventually go down to the Glocks. Renegades are going to have really quick rotations back on in. Bomb plant might go through, but that Molotov is so good from Renegades. They completely deny the cash grab from Optic, and it's a very nice shutdown there. They lose 2 players, but they can upgrade them. They don't have to stick with a full UMP bonus round into the 19th.
Yeah, plenty of cash to upgrade into M4s. Could stick with UMPs if they want to. Optic full buying here. Now, Optic's a team that really like to play slower defaults. The majority of the time, they like to play that old classic European discipline style of play with Mage's Thor and HSB and the rest kind of working mid and A main control. And they like to favor late round executes. They're not usually as fast and explosive as what you saw Renegades do, but they certainly can sprinkle it in to be like a change of pace. So I would expect that the bulk of the time you're going to see rounds open this way, exactly like this. Optic just in a really passive holding pattern. HS receiving some pressure on B from JKS and NAF, but they do back down. Meanwhile, a boost being added to the A-bomb site with Ustillo over there with Aza. Obviously, 2 guys who played together for a very long time. Going all the way back to the Vox Imanor days, even, some of these guys, obviously.
But as you expected, slow for Optic. As they look for a pick from Renegades, no one seems to be overextending. Again, Renegades have such a lead, there's no need to. Not only that, but they're limited on 3 players with these UMPs held on. This is such a good benefit for Renegades if they pick up this round, because not only do they continue to rack up cash, but they also can upgrade to AKs. So if Renegades find this 13th, then this is going to start to be a very difficult game if it wasn't already for Optic. Again, this is the map we expect them to take on their map pick. Overpass being a very different story, but we can get to that later. Optic have taken mid-control. And Azza smoked out, but he's going to be in a position to strike once that fades. And as well with having the AWP on the A-bomb site, that can look down highway, but no one watching. Blindsided, Alu's dead. So Azza gets the pick, but he continues to get aggressive and Mixwell punishes. As now Optic look to split through the vents with the bomb. Combined with B main as well, and Magis backing off of A. Renegades are going to be left to a solo man on the bomb site. And at range, this is where the UMP suffers. JKS going to die. And Deagle out, great shot from Nafly, but he needs to get more done because Optic had taken control of the site. It's still a 3-on-3. More damage. Nafly won't convert, and Optic, they've taken control of this round. Even Magis catching a rotation, leaving just Nifty. I don't think this one's going to be doable by any means, but he does have the element of surprise. Okay, Mixwell, just as a smoke fades, he dies, but Nifty shot from the back. Finally, Optic make a round.
Yeah, really well done. And again, you're going to see rounds open up that way very often for Optic. They like to just kind of take their time, get a little bit of map control, you know, keep HS and Magus on the perimeter, kind of keep them getting information, maybe finding openings. And so that's just kind of the tried and true Optic way of approaching T-side cash. I'm curious if iBUYPOWER does have some extra plays in case this default stops working, like if Renegades want to get aggressive and, you know, start pushing them and unsettling them, or if things just stop working. But for right now, everything's gone according to plan in that first default round. They're going to keep up with that same exact setup, but Nifty, he's looking to take that initiative, and there's the opening blow. Mixwell out of the equation.
And Optic. An awkward start again. We saw their resets in the previous half, or their reset when they picked up 1 buy round after the first 5. And that is looking to happen again. Renegade's already a man up, but they don't realize these players have actually crossed towards deep checkers, and that's why Nafly is in a dangerous spot. Somehow recovers with the UMP. Good shot from him. So only extending this man advantage for Renegades, and that kind of leads HS out to dry. Not only does he have no utility, but he's alone on the site. Luckily, Magus will grab one in the meantime, so that's mid-open for Optic. They can either split through vents or go up through highway. I'd like to see maybe them try and take Z control, because right now, Renegades have no presence there, but Optic are none the wiser just yet. And Nafly just following up.
Yeah, if HS can get that frag instead, that leaves some options open for Optic, but now it's going to be really tough. It's a 2-on-4. May just trying to alleviate some pressure off the bomb carrier Alu at B lobby by trying to come up highway, maybe pull a rotation, but at the end of the day, that still has to win that 1v1 in the B bomb site. And he can even get caught. Look at this. There's a player right here. Alu's trying to get back to Magus, but there's a player waiting for him in garage. So unfortunate. That's basically the round lost.
I mean, it was only 2 rounds prior where Ustilo pushed up into that exact same position. It was Magus rotating off A that caught him out in the meantime. So it's nice to see Ustilo benefit from that one this time. Nafly, 3 kills with the UMP. Very good.
Yeah, going to farm a lot of cash off the back of that, and Renegades are starting to edge out here. Optic, though, still has, you know, a couple of buys left to try to see if they can't get back into this one, but this round is not going to be one of those. This is going to have to be a save. You know, basically Renegades should get to 14 with little trouble, and then at that point, you know, you're just trying to force buy to survive if you're Optic. You're just going to, you know, keep trying to march it forward. They definitely have an uphill battle to climb. Again, I'm kind of wondering if Optic has something cooked up. I feel like they're very default oriented, but I think you could see something a bit different in their next gun round. Maybe iBUYPOWER has an execute in mind once they're able to get some money back in their hands. But for this round, it should be basically a walk in the park for Renegades. As this whole match seems to have been a walk in the park for you. Still a 109 ADR, putting up big numbers. Sometimes he comes under fire in comparison to the rest of the lineup. But he's definitely showing up here.
Yeah, I feel like he's typically the bottom fragger, but I think there were a couple of games. Okay. Well, luckily it's Nafly getting work done. And, well, with that point cut off, I'll go back to it. Yeah, you still, like you said, he comes under fire a lot. He's not really that man at the top of the board very commonly, but I think there were a couple of maps in Shanghai, some important maps as well, where he really stepped up and he was dropping a lot of numbers for Renegade. So, yeah, not consistently at the top, but he has that skill ceiling, right?
Well, he doesn't have to step up anymore because the thing was he used to kind of be paired with Azza for kind of like an entry combo because you had like JKS playing peripheral roles, and then Nexa was doing a lot of that as well back when he was on the team. But now with Naf, they've really kind of engaged Naf to being more of a guy kind of opening up things, and it's allowed you still to kind of settle back, I think, in a lot of situations. Maybe he's more comfortable in that way. We'll have to kind of see how that develops. But Optic, again, they have to just buy out from this point forward. But this is lacking a couple of Galils, so it's not ideal by any means, but they have to make it work. Looks like they are going to go into a faster execute. Yeah,
I like this. Magus already found the first entry. They should burst off the back of that, but he's low. And then they may do the job as well. It does. Azza finds a kill in response, so Renegades keep it even. 4-on-4 on Optic. Look at that rotation as well. Straight off the back of Magus' Def and Squeaky, they already fall back of the A-bomb site. So not committing, checking to see if Renegades are pushed up on the other side of the map. HS clearing out the B side. And if they can, you know, find a pick there, potentially they'll split through the vents, go for that mid-control again that we've been seeing them attempt to do.
Yeah, they have Mixwell boosted up there. That's the thing with Mixwell. He's got a different role on his team, respectively. He used to be an opper. Would entry frag sometimes for Optic, but it wasn't his main role. That is his main role here, though, for OG, is he's trying to come up highway to see if he can find that opening his team desperately needs. Oh, he might catch this player. You have to wonder. There is a player, Quadra, who might peek him down, so we'll have to see how this interaction plays out. Is he still creeping up?
Yeah, and he's going to get spotted, but he's still using the electric box to stay alive. Grabs a kill. Frybug as well, but it's Nafly towards the back. Great defense. 3 frags. And while Renegades give up a little bit of mid-presence, allowing Optic to get that split up, they bolster the A defense, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, everything's going according to plan for Renegades right now. Again, you know, Optic have only won 2 rounds since round 6 of this game, period. So it's really been just a bloodbath from Renegades this entire half, and obviously the stretch of the last half, the last 10 rounds there. So pretty dominant performance from the Aussie side, as well as a little flavor of NA in there.
Got to keep it somewhat in
Alu has an
support.
R8. All right. Most R8 frags this tournament, Alu with 1. It's the stat for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, there's not a lot of data on R8s anyway. Good shot from Nifty. And not many people use them, but Nifty, what is going on? 2 kills on the A site. Make it 3. No issue. Renegades just shutting down this round. I mean, oh my God. Nifty. He closes out the game in style. Renegades 16-7. Absolutely no issue on that
All
A
right, there
site
you go,
defense.
Nifty. You've earned my first F-bomb of the tournament.
Wrap
Hopefully
it
the
up,
only
boys.
one.
Wrap it up.
Jesus Christ, man. Just when you think that Optic have, all right, we're going to get this round. We got an R8 frag. We're getting in there.
What is going on?
Nifty's like, not today.
What is going on?
today. Nifty, man, just showing you what he can be with an op. You know, he has such a high ceiling for an opera, and he's in-game leading, trying to do his best fallen impression, I guess, in that round with the shotgun op up close. And what a way to end the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better conclusion round for that map.
Shocked and stunned, frankly. Yustilo and Nifty dropping 22 kills at the end of that game. Nice to see Yustilo back up there. Shows he has the potential. I mean, potential, bad word for it, but you know what I mean. Shows he has that skill ceiling, and of course Nifty, as you would expect,
Yeah.
always performing well for this team. It's
I'm just going to not say
Yeah.
anything. Let's just watch this again.
it
This
doesn't make any sense. The final kill is the best one for me, jumping off the site as well.
Yeah, just let
what
that
is
one
that?
sink in.
What is that?
Let that one sink in.
That-
What a game there.
So, see, why we expected Renegades to take this map, did you really think it was going to be this dominant? You think the Optic would only find 2 buy rounds across the
I thought
entire
it would
game?
be a little bit closer game. I was thinking maybe more like a 16-12 type game. I mean, again, it is true that Renegades have beaten them on cash last 2 times they've played it online. I think that was like an EPL match and maybe the IM Oakland qualifiers.
Yeah.
Even though Optic won the series in the IM Oakland qualifiers, that's why they're going to Oakland. Cash was a map that Renegades were always able to kind of deal with Optic online. So with that in mind, not a lot of data to work with, but just Renegades, just from an eyes perspective, has been impressing me. I know that there was an interview that Nifty did right when they picked up NAF where he's like, this team for so long has felt like we're one roster move away from finally doing something. You know, like we're missing that one next key piece we need. We got Nifty established as an IGL opper. He's bringing a lot to the table. We know what we're going to get from JKS and Azza. Yustilo can kind of do his role, but we need something else. Nexa wasn't it. Jaywalking